Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. I am a labor and delivery nurse by day, and I do a lot of reading. I read a lot of books in November, and like kind of thicker books. Some really good ones, some not amazing. So to start, I was on a trip, so I read an ebook, which that's not normally my go-to. So I read Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands. I had really liked her Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I would give this, what did I give this? Oh, I give it 4 stars. So it's just like a cozy fantasy. I don't normally like cozy fantasy, but I feel like because she's just like a little bit awkward, I like her. So there you go. Okay, I am going to straighten this out a little bit. Sorry. Ooh, there. And then I listened to, so even though I have a physical copy, I listened to Golden Sun. I just thought that I would ingest it faster because, I don't think I'm going to continue in this series. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like it's a lot of like destruction and killing, and then suddenly there's like something very exciting at the end that's like, dang it. Like, it makes me want to read the next one, but I just like not enough. And I probably gave this like a 3.5. And please don't. I just took my winter hat off. So I got like big old marks on my head. So this is a continuation of the Red Rising series. I liked Red Rising, but this felt like a lot more of the same, but like a lot of characters that were confusing. And I'm just like not super into this main character, so I feel like it's harder for me to follow. And yeah, again, there's just a lot of destruction. I don't know if I would have like engaged with it better if I read it physically, because I felt the same feelings with Red Rising. So our main character is kind of like undercover. He is a red, which is like the lowest caste of person on Mars. And in the first book, his body is like changed so that he can infiltrate them. So this is more of the same. Betrayals, murder. But it sounds like there's like 6 or 7 books. So I just don't know that it's worth it for me. Then I read Killing the Legends by Bill O'Reilly. The last one I had read was Killing the Witches, which is very like disjointed and disappointing to me. This was another like different layout because we had 3 stories, and I thought at the end they would like tie together. They did not. It was just literally like, and that's done. So I ended up reading the afterword that tied it together a little bit, but I really enjoyed Elvis because I feel like I know some about him. I did also really enjoy John Lennon. I don't know as much about Muhammad Ali, and I don't really care about fighting as much, but it was still like a good read. So I really enjoyed reading this. For some reason, all my stars are empty. I would give this 4, like 4.5. It was a little bit strange that they didn't like tie together or overlap in some way, because the other Killing series books have like Killing Lincoln, and then you have like different perspectives, but it's the same story the whole way through. So yeah, points off for just feeling like we couldn't commit, so we just split it all up. I don't know that any of these stories needed more. It was just a different way to do it. Then, gosh, I read a lot of physical books at this point. I finally read Spark of the Everflame. So this is a book that I've had recommended to me multiple times. I feel like this one is kind of getting like a good following. So this author was originally like independently published, and then things got picked up. So like my friend Jamie had book 4 like ordered and ready, but then because it got picked up by an actual like publishing house, they like canceled her order. So she has been waiting for book 4. I would love book 2. Thank you, Mabel. Book 2, which I think comes out, she's literally like getting tangled in the freaking cord. The next book gets released like this week or something. So I don't think I have pre-ordered it yet. So I will probably pre-order that when I get home from my Europe trip. I'm excited. Oh, I should probably tell you what this is about. Mabel, what are you doing, you psycho? She is walking under the camera, like gonna mess up all the tripod stuff. You little turd. Okay. No, you need to get over here and you need to behave. You're being very annoying. Okay, our main character is DM. Her mother is like the healer for this, like, they're like a fae species almost. They're like a half god. So they rule. And her mom's been their healer, but her mom is mysteriously missing. So even though DM's never had any interactions with them, she is now like taking over the healer. But there's also like a rebellion happening. There's like not like a love triangle, but there's like a childhood love, and then there's like a mysterious man who, gosh. Okay, so Descended are the like half god, half human. And they have like magical powers. DM has magical powers, so we don't know where that's coming from. I just loved it. This is like not a very long book, but a lot happened, and I'm very, very excited. And it sounds like is it the third book that gets like super, super spicy? I am here for it. So this was a 5-star for me. I'm pretty sure this is a 5-star. So either like 4.5, 5. It's good. It's good. Then I listened to Two Can Play by Allie Hazelwood. So this is just a short little novella. This is like a 4-hour audiobook. So our main characters are two game designers that for some reason he hates her. She's 100% sure that he hates her. He's avoiding her all the time. Their companies are competing for like a design project that she has a lot of emotional ties to because she used to like play it with her dad or like watch the movie with her dad that's now being adapted to a game. And these people figure out their miscommunication and start banging. So it's like cute, spicy, short. It was very good. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was good. Like 4.5. Not perfect. Her other novella, like she's got some other novellas that are very, very good. This one was, like 4.5. It's good. Speaking of a 5-star read. Oh, I just threw it across the room. Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. This book was so good. This was a one-sitting read for me because I did not want to walk away. Our main characters are not really enemies to lover, more like indifference to lovers. And they are like in the same sphere. They play for the same symphony. So Gwen is a violinist and Xander Thorne is a cellist, but turns out that he actually was a famous violinist as a child and then like dropped his name because of family drama. It's good. Like the story is good. The spice is good. Their relationship is amazing. I just love this so much. So I definitely will be reading more Julie Soto. So good. This is a book that you are mad that no one has recommended to you. Like, honest, like I was reading this being like, why has no one recommended this to me? Why has no one said, which some like TikTokers, I've seen it, but like not with the gusto they should have recommended it. Read it. Then I read the second, I forget what the first one was called. What's the first one? I don't know. So Master of Iron, this is the second book in a series for Trisha Levenseller. So this continues, it's Blade of Secrets is the first one. This continues the story. It's like a ragtag troupe. It's trying to save their country. There's magic. There's romance. It was fine. It was good. It wasn't great. I gave it 3 stars. There's magical weapons. I do feel like there was good representation of like social anxiety. So if you relate to that duology, you might really like. My mom and my sisters, I sent them my TBR and asked them to choose something for me to read because I'm sick of making decisions. And they pretty much selected all audiobooks. So my mother's choice was A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Divine Rivals is also by Rebecca Ross. So similar vibes. Like there is magic, but it's not super magic-y. Like, yeah. So Jack Tamerlan returns to the island that he grew up on, and he's actually like lured there by who he believes is the laird, but it's actually the daughter. And girls are going missing from their isle. So he plays his magical harp. This is me playing a harp. And tries to like ask the gods what's happening. There's a lot of layers to this mystery. And we end on the cliffhanger because there is another book, and I will be reading the other book. It was very good. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it a lot. It was an entertaining audiobook too, which is really nice. Then I read one of my Book of the Month books. So this was October, and I gotta say, like, it had a lot of potential and it just didn't hit for me. So I gave it 3 stars. So there's like our main character that's like the point of view, and then there's kind of like who actually feels like it's the main character. So, and then there's also like a 1500s point of view. So our main character, which, do I even know her name? The mom. So Erin is her daughter. Erin gets like in a cult and ends up with this book of witching, and she's found like burned on a beach, like most of her body's burned. Her boyfriend is dead, and we're trying to unpack what's happening. There's some sort of witchery involved. And then there's like this 1500s flashback at the same time, which it felt like it was going to be great, and it just didn't. Did not tie up very well. So, yeah, I feel like I can't really recommend this. I didn't hate reading it, but I thought it could have gone somewhere, but it also didn't feel like it was like long enough to go where it needed to go. The next choice for audiobook. So I think actually 2 of my sisters said that this was one they would recommend, and then they both read it and finished it before I did. So this is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. This was just a delightful book. And this, I feel like you could like read this to like a middle grade or younger, because the main character is a 14-year-old girl. So there's like nothing racy. There is murder, but there's like, she's dealing with it. So our main character has like bread magic, like baking magic. So she can like make dough not burn, etc. And she uses this magic to defend her kingdom from evil people. So at one point she makes like evil gingerbread men, and it's so funny and delightful. So yeah, I gave this 4 stars because it was just a joy. If you like baking and a little bit of fantasy, you might really enjoy this. My next, I think Erin recommended this maybe. This was a novella, which I did not know. It was just 4 hours, so I could crank that out in like one sitting. A Spindle Splintered. So this is kind of like a Sleeping Beauty retelling. So our main character has a chronic illness that she's going to die from when she's 21. So she turns 21, and as she turns 21, she like somehow ends up in Sleeping Beauty with Aurora. And while she's there, she has to kind of like, you go through multiple like Sleeping Beauty retellings, which is cool, and see like the different things. And we've got to like rescue ourselves and escape. And again, it was entertaining. I don't know that I would necessarily recommend this. I feel like Alex E. Harrow, I've been like hit or miss with. But I did give it 4 stars. It was good. And it is nice to just like be able to finish a book, you know? Like, it's not like a 12-hour project. I mean, it was, but it's not a week-long project like 11/22/63. This is a Stephen King book. This is about our main character. I think his name is Jake, but he goes by George almost the entire book. So he finds like a bubble, like a way to get back to 1958. And his friend charges him with staying in the past for long enough to save JFK. And his belief is that everything kind of went downhill after JFK was shot, because he felt like the world had a great trajectory and JFK would have changed things a lot. So this book is not, I don't know what to tell you this is. So it is not really horror, except for that, like, people are horrible. So he does a lot, like time travel. Time is trying to not change. So I feel like time is actually maybe the like evil in this book. There's like a love story. I don't know. It didn't end how I thought it was going. I mean, I felt like it kind of had to. So he just kind of like finds out what happens when he saves Kennedy. Yeah, I would give this a read. I gave this 4 stars. It was very long and not quite as thrillery as I thought it was going to be, but it was good. I did enjoy reading it. Then I picked up A Bit Much, which is a book of poetry. So this was like, I did a couple different sittings and sat down and read these. I did really enjoy them. So I gave it 5 stars. I am not like a page like turner over, but I did. I wanted to be able to reference the poems that I really liked. And it's a lot of the book. So they're just very approachable poems that just speak to true life. So yeah. And she does a lot of these where she like writes a poem and then will like just highlight just a few words out of the same poem. And it's just a really cool way to see words used. So A Bit Much by Lindsay Rush. I'm also following her on Instagram now because she does a lot of like little poetry things, which are really fun. Then we're almost there. Then I read James, which is a like Huck Finn retelling from Jim's point of view. This is a super interesting story. This is not something I would have picked up by myself. I read this for the Sharon Says So book club. It read very quickly. Like there are not that many words on a page. And just honestly, it's just so devastating to read a book from a slave's perspective and know that there's not like really that much hope at the end because he's still like deep in slavery. This is not like he's gonna, and like even if he does like escape slavery, like the world is still so racist, especially at this time. And I'm not super familiar with the Huck Finn story. I don't feel like you need to be. It was still delightful. I loved the twist at the end. And yeah, I think I gave it a 4.5 star, mostly just because it wouldn't be my first pick for reading, but very good. Highly recommend. And I think this is like in a lot of, like I think historical fiction, maybe this is like going to be a winner on Goodreads. It's very good. Then one that is my kind of book is When the Moon Hatched. This was my sister Jenna's pick. It is a like 700-page book, but it does not read like one. So there's not like a ton of words on the page. It's like big reading. So you like 100 pages goes so fast. It's also just a freaking delight. Okay. The characters are amazing. So our main character, her name is Rave. She's an assassin. So she's like murdering people when we walk in. There is a lot, like she doesn't connect with people. We don't find out for a really long time why. There's another like POV that you don't know how it ties in until like probably 3/4 of the way through. And then it's kind of like, wow, okay. We have a really bad man, a lot of other really bad men. We have dragons that when they die, they like go up into the sky and become moons. We have like a whole backstory that we want to find out about. And we have the hottest man who keeps like rescuing her, and she's a real bitch to him and he keeps being really nice. So you know that there is more to this. And like the fact that Rave has no idea what her backstory is, apparently, which you kind of find out more and more. This book was so good because it was like, I was always entertained, but there was also always like, wait, is there more? There is more. So I think the second book is coming out soon. It is not out now. So if you don't like to like wait for books, don't start this now because you're going to want to read the next one. It's so good. So this is a 5-star. I read this in just a few days and mostly because I had to work. So I had to stop reading. And because I wanted to like sit down and read for long amounts of time because it was so good. Okay, let's see if I have then I listened to, oh no, I didn't edit this. Sorry. There we go. So Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This is one, I think my sister Erin recommended this. Maybe not, man. Kara? I think Kara might have recommended this. So, this was fun. Our main character's whole family has like murdered or killed people, and you can like, they're all at a lodge. His brother's getting out of prison, and they're like greeting him there. So, but then a body shows up and other people keep getting killed. So you're kind of like digging into the family past and trying to see like how it all fits together. This was entertaining. It's not like my favorite book. If I didn't have the recap at the end, I would have had no idea what was going on. So at the end, the main character's like, okay, so this is what happens, and like ties it all together, which is really great when it was an audiobook that you were like listening to, but not like really digesting very well because you were a little bit distracted. So 4 stars for this guy. And then the last thing that I'm going to say that I read in December, even though technically I read it, in November, even though technically I read it December 1st. But this was one of my buzzword prompts was Only. So I read The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. So this is a story about like a captive gorilla, elephant, dog, another elephant, I think, and his perspective and how he's like trying to rescue them. So yeah, it was good. I feel like this is for a way younger audience. It was written well, but I would probably give it like a 3.5. At the end, I thought it like ended well. I would not continue in the series, but it's also just a 4-hour book. So I feel like this is meant to be like a children's chapter book. So yeah, it was good. And that was the reading. So now for December, I have quite a few like holiday books, and I've wrapped them all up, and I'm going to be opening them as like Advent gifts to myself. Sorry, these are Mabel's back feet because she's diving into my crotch right now. So fun. Such a weird ass dog. Mabel, stop! What are you doing? Okay. So that's it. We'll see you at the end of December. And I will probably film like favorites for the year series as well. Not series, just one video. Woo! I hope that you couldn't tell that I'm on a huge time crunch because I have an appointment soon. But anywho, happy reading. See you next month.